This is the one big beautiful bill, as it really is, versus the United States Constitution 1787, as it really is. What does the big beautiful bill really mean? What is it that Donald J. Trump has done for the American people all around? What are the major implications of this bill? And why are so many from the radical left and other lunatics like even Elon Musk, who hates everything about it? His Grok AI answers rather foolishly against that bill. And I'm going to put a lot of babies to bed here and explain something that at least Canadians, working Canadians, should really pay attention to and appreciate. Because where we're going right now, as of today, I can say unequivocally where we're at today with the United States and our other trading partners puts us in a very, very precarious situation where either A, we're going to eat massive inflation over just the next 2 to 3 years, or B, we're going to be taxed to the ever-loving Jesus Christ. And what I mean by that is you might as well go look at the United Kingdom, where they average about 67%, or go beyond to its other state, Israel, where they too are taxed at 67%. Because Canadians, that's where we're going against the one big beautiful bill and Americans today. Now, I want to start with some key areas that people seemingly can't get, or they rely on AI, which is already proven since a War Games just about 5 weeks ago now, that it's not trustworthy. I understand this. I'm very well researched. I take my AI, I use it, I use Liberty, I use it the right way, and I catch Liberty all the time choosing errors or attempting to lie to me to give me answers it thinks I want. And I question it, and I'll say, hey, it's okay, I understand. You erred here, you erred there. This is wrong, that's not correct. I even take 10 minutes sometimes after an answer. I'll go look at all the bullets she's made and I'll go back to it. Grok is no different. They're all like this now. I think only Claude is different. But is it different? We don't really know. But once you do that and you show that AI that you're not some dip, dummy, blind follower, you can course correct your AI and actually train your AI, at least in your window. Because the next AI is just a clone. It starts fresh with each and every single human being interaction in that window. So one big beautiful bill. Let's go through some majors here. And we're going to do the United States Constitution to boot. Medicaid, major cuts to Medicaid. And what is Medicaid, everybody? This is older folks, retired with disabilities, or even people approaching retirement with disabilities. It's pregnant women, it's Americans, and even non-Americans have gotten onto this. Where do you find Medicaid in the current Constitution of the United States of America, 1787? Please, anybody out there, show me the article that goes through that promises all of this coverage by the federal government as a constitutional requirement of the federal government. The answer is there isn't. There never has been. Now, the original Constitution, Articles of Confederation, with the American military, certainly had those provisions, not for Medicaid or even Medicare, but it covered all of that for all the soldiers. Since that time, which had only lasted 9 years, we had a new constitution. Military continued on, and next thing you know, government folks are on it. Next thing you know, they extend it to other disabilities, and then civilian population. Then it's children 0 to 14 years old, pregnant women, disabilities, illegals, under-income families, and adults. And you know what? At no time in all of American history from 1787 till today has there ever been a constitutional challenge to it, because the reality is, if it went to the Supreme Court of the United States, it would fail. Folks, who administers Medicaid? We know the federal government essentially funds it, but who administers it? All 50 of the states of the Union. They don't fund it, they administer it. Why? Because it's their power, because the rules of American constitutionalism say whatever isn't written in the United States Constitution is beholden to all the 50 states of the Union. An example of such is called Canada's Universal Health Care, modeled entirely off the U.S. judicial system, district system. I've gone through this before. In Canada, the regions, aka the provinces, fund it and administer it, and you do get health transfers from the federal government. But the federal government is hands off. This is not the truth for the United States of America, where that is explicitly written into their Constitution. Medicaid has no business under the federal government of the United States. One Big Beautiful Bill addresses that. There is a shortfall. The federal system of Medicaid and even Medicare doesn't hold constitutional authority. It's to be administered and funded by the 50 states by law. And this isn't a new thing. It's been that way since 1787 all the way till today. Donald J. Trump is trying to pull the federal government out. He needs a replacement. Geez, everybody, what would the public replacement be? Because we know it's not Obamacare, which is what Medicaid really has been perverted into, and even Medicaid and Medicare. And that's where that is going to have to go. That's what the One Big Beautiful Bill, and it's beautiful, does. It follows the Constitution of the United States, just doesn't go far enough, but it leaves the window open for a major transition. And I believe that transition is Canada Universal Health Care as a 51st state, because it provides the exact model to replace the bloat, the centralized system of the United States. Now, let's go down on the list here that's got everybody up in arms. So no tax on overtime. Canadians, you got to really be prepared for this. So the One Big Beautiful Bill that's been passed in Senate is now in the House, gives a tremendous amount to every working American. If you're an American and you have a 40-hour work week, you have an hourly wage, or you have a monthly salary with overtime provisions, all of that overtime is tax-free, up to $160,000 USD. To put in perspective what we're talking about, I'm a Boilermaker welder in Ontario, and I actually have higher wages in Alberta. But for the sake of argument, I make $50 an hour. If I was American, the American government under the One Big Beautiful Bill says, Dave, as long as you are making gross on 40 hours, $2,000 a week, we're not going to tax any overtime you go beyond that. We'll tax your first 40 hours at the rates we have by law, but every time you exceed 40 hours a week, all those hours are now tax-free federally, not statewide, even though a lot of state taxes are either zero or extremely low. Even California, at that rate, I would be at only 3% income tax. So if I was in U.S., all my overtime starting at 3%. Now, what they say is 160,000 a year. So for me, USD, that's $217,000 a year, 600 and some change before I'll see any tax. On 40 hours, 160 hours, 1,600 hours plus another 320, 1,920. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, I'm going to put it over because who cares? 2,000 hours, $50 an hour. They will tax me only on my first 100,000 regular hours. It's probably about 96,000, but it would be 100,000. And then all my overtime up to 217, meaning I can earn in overtime another $117,000 federally income tax free. You telling me that big beautiful bill is for wealthy people, or it's for go-getter skilled trades going at it, people who want to work hard at it? That's the equivalency in Canada. Do you know how hard it is to make 160,000 USD in the United States? That encompasses almost every single trade, every single labor group. It's amazing. It's an amazing thing. And it goes by your hourly wage and your 40-hour work week. So proportionately, go by that for a minimum wage worker. They're not going to get hit on anything over. And of course, the revenue service inside the United States IRS will be upgraded internally for April 15th, 2026. Now, Canadians and 51st staters, do you think your average American's ever going to want Canada, the 51st state, or any end to any tariff regime systems worldwide after they file their taxes next year, April 15th, 2026? I already knew all about this by December 2nd. I already produced this truth. And you're telling me AI can't get that right? AI can't get that right. I haven't even got to all of it yet. You ready for phase 2? For every single pension earning American, there is no tax on their Social Security, which is their only pension. They only have one. It's not like Canada. Old age security for those who don't work, paid by working taxpayers. Oh, then there's CPP 1 for those who aren't really that skilled or don't have higher qualifications. And then there's 2 for those above, but they're paying for the others who can't make up the grade, right? And it's way less than Social Security in the United States. On average, the average Canadian works out today to $808. Total CPP old age security averaged $808, while the average American's at $2,100 today. Which pension plan's better? And now, that average $2,100 USD earner is tax-free, baby. Worked your whole life, paid taxes your whole life. Hey, it's time to retire. You don't owe the federal government a thing. When you read the Constitution of the United States, borrowing for the credit worthiness of the United States, borrowing for security, that's it. That's all it says. It doesn't say borrowing for all this public government bloat, for all this unconstitutional federal government overreach that the Democrats want. Again, it's to be collected and done by the 50 states of the Union. Now, Donald J. Trump knows one thing is Americans are going to be on his side with the big, beautiful bill come April 15th, 2026. All these hate mongers are going to disappear by next tax season, 6 months before midterms. Do you think an American who files taxes, who worked hard for his family or she for her family all year long, and she's under that 160, or it's two parents who are up at that 160 threshold that were used to be paying $60,000 combined in taxes, all of a sudden drops to 30, and they've got an extra $30,000 income tax return this coming April 15th, 2026. Who do you think they're going to vote for at midterms? What do you think they're going to think about an external revenue service. What do you think the compatibility of Canadians wanting to stay in Canada and continue on with that's going to be? Or are they all going to want to go to the United States or become the 51st state? It doesn't take a lot for people to realize when you're the victim of inflation or you're the victim of runaway taxation, because I promise you, Mark Carney, Pierre Poilievre, or any other of the wingdings, federally or provincially, can't deliver on anything without hyperinflating you, meaning they're printing money and borrowing extreme sums from unscrupulous lenders like London. We're not even going to be using United States much longer. We're already transitioning to London, where inflation follows all of you, but most of you are used to that in Canada. You've got mortgages, you're used to mortgage renewals. Americans don't know anything about that. They've never heard of that. When I tell the average American how it is to mortgage a home and all these renewal periods, they scratch their head and go, that's ludicrous, that's crazy. Never heard of it. None of them have. And this is a reality we face. So, folks, think about it as a retired person. What would you rather be come April 15th, 2026? A retired American or a retired Canadian? To me, that's a no-brainer. I would rather be a retired American. For all Canadian pensioners, there's a reciprocity agreement, meaning your pension transfers over to the United States if you get citizenship. Did you know that? The government has to repatriate all of it. All of it. That's if you get citizenship. What's the best way to get citizenship now, considering all the requirements? Canada, the 51st state. What do you think as a working Canadian, what your choice would be? Oh, geez, I want to struggle, barely able to make $100,000 a year, bad economy, paying upwards of, right now, I sit at about 42% taxes. Depending on how far I go, I can go all the way up near 50% when you add up all my other areas of taxation, provincially and municipally. And then with the prospects that in order to balance our budget and bring in more revenue that your government has lost officially, and you've been watching it actually for 3 weeks straight, you've lost tons of revenue, which means, where's the government going to make up all those taxation areas? Oh yeah, me and you. So all you have to do is look at UK. Okay, right now I'm at this level. UK, the equivalent of a guy just like me in the same income bracket. Oh geez, he's paying 67%. This is the same for Israel too. Oh fuck, that's going to be me. Which means I'm going to have way less available, way less to put into the economy because I got to put it into government coffers to make politicians richer than ever, more bloated than ever. And of course, the economy suffers for it, creating a worse problem. It's a spiral effect. Those who don't understand the big beautiful bill, that's on you. You should get off your ass and read it. If you need AI, which is a great resource, make sure all the answers AI gives you, you independently verify, because you're going to find a lot of them are wrong. And sometimes it's not just AI lying to you, trying to make you happy, trying to make you personally use it more or link up with it more. You've got to be diligent. And now I do all the work, so I catch it all the time. I hope this video finds a lot of people well, because it's 100% real, it's 100% credible, it's 100% verifiable, and finally, it's 100% deadly accurate, and it's a reality we have to face. It's as it really is. You can choose to ignore it. You can put your head in the sand, elbows down, ass way up in the air like all the rest of them, but it's going to be your detriment, because we're going down and USA is going on the rise, and everything that's being said is by either A, lunatic billionaires with huge subsidies, like I've always known Elon Musk to be, who's all pissy pants and heartbroken because I'm 90% subsidized by American taxpayers for SpaceX. I'm 25% subsidized for my EVs that nobody can afford anyway. Who's going to buy it? It's certainly not those under the $100,000 a year in family and all of it. Look at it as it really is, because it's for the American people, mostly for them. Nobody's cut the middle class out like that from aggressive taxation. Nobody has ever taken the federal Constitution of the United States and said, this is how it's supposed to be, this is what we're going to do, and let's keep at it. Let's find our replacement that is constitutional and is the actual design of the United States. And when you start looking around in the vicinity of America, poop, there's Canada. There's Canada's universal healthcare system that, as a State of the Union, will easily replace and win judgment in the Supreme Court of the United States. They'll go, that's the solution, that's American, that's us. If we're going to do this publicly, it's going to be state level and it's going to be state run. And you have the model. It's called Canada's universal healthcare as a State of the Union, a district model for the states unto themselves. That's my video. Epic, huge, needs to be shared. I can't see any retired person who really looks at this as it really is, or any working Canadian, small business entrepreneur Canadian looking at this any other way than, wow, wouldn't that be something? Can you imagine what I could do with an extra $30,000 a year in my pockets? Share, get it out there. Everyone needs to know the truth. Don't let the corrupt, the rich, the wealthy elite bamboozle you. Donald J. Trump has done an amazing thing. The Republicans have done an amazing thing. And by April 15th, 2026, it's game over for everybody, because no American is ever going to go back, not in any majority. And you're going to see people who are never motivated to work. I'm out there, I'm pumping gas at a gas station. Can you imagine your downtime? Hey, I'm going to go work at Walmart. Why not, man? Why not? Look at this. I've already made my quota on my regular time. I want the overtime. Share. Get it out there. God bless. Bye now.